I can't believe what's in front of me. A kitchen knife made out of Tamahagane by a licensed swordsmith? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Franco Allo, and this channel is all about knife reviews, knowledge, unboxings, and head-to-heads. Today, we have a very unique knife. So unique, in fact, that I wanted to bring back the Naked Chef, but the story about this knife is unique. The knifesmith himself, everything about this is so premium, I just had to wear my premium shirt. Now, this knife is not mine. It comes from my good buddy Hai Fan, who lent me this knife so I can make a video about the knife, about the brand, about the smith. He also has a Santoku by the same series and maker for sale. And so if ever you're interested in either what's going to be in this box or the Santoku he has for sale, I will leave a link to his social in the video description below. Now let's get into it. So the knife smith in question, or I should say the bladesmith, the swordsmith in question, is Yasha Yukawa. Everything about this is going to be premium, okay? And so I wanted to give you a premium experience. Of course, the price point of this knife is not low. And so what I did is I decided to invest a little bit more in the video experience for you. And what we're going to switch into next, before we learn about the swordsmith, is I want to show you what's in the box, because there's a lot in the box and it feels really good to open a box like this. It's a gorgeous Kiri box with more details than you would normally see. So we're going to switch to a top-down view. We're going to open the box together. I'll quickly explain what's in the box. You'll get to see the knife. And then we'll come back to this view. I'll talk a bit more about the swordsmith. I'll talk a bit more about the brand. And without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so let's see what it's like to experience opening a knife by Yasha Yukawa. First thing we see is the gorgeous Kiri box made out of paulownia, a hardwood from Eastern Asia. Now this Kiri box, and I own many, you can tell is immediately a little bit different than most. It has some brandings for Yasha Yukawa's logo. It says Swordsmith Yasha Yukawa, Sacred Steel. Here on the side of the box you can see both in lettering and numbers TW002. The T stands for Tamahagane, the W stands for Warikomi. So the soft cladding, the Jigane, wraps over the spine, made with Tamahagane steel. We'll learn more about Tamahagane a little bit later. And 002 means that this is the second knife of that series, though it is the first Gyuto of this size for that series. Now, something else that is immediately clear to how premium of a product this is not only is the Kiri box beautiful, but you also have a sleeve. Now this sleeve isn't necessary, but it's a little bit like, say, an ornamental handkerchief when you go to a higher end restaurant that's shaped like a dove. Is it necessary? No, but does it add to experience? Absolutely. So this, I think, just adds to the experience. So let's remove that sleeve to reveal the naked Kiri box. So of course nothing is underneath the sleeve. This makes sense. You wouldn't want to be putting a lot of effort to, a little bit like the top and bottom of the box, add branding, which you then wouldn't see. So again, here's your beautiful Kiri box. Now let's open and see what lies underneath. Beautiful, beautiful signature and stamp numbering of the knife. This was a request by Hai Fan to Yasha Yukawa. So that makes this product even more premium, even more limited. And then the first thing that I noticed, of course, is going to be this absolutely gorgeous business card. I love his logo. It's clean, it's premium, it's stylish, very, very elegant. Again, always going back to the fact that in terms of serial number, this is TW002 with the signature. It says, this certifies that this blade is made by swordsmith Yasha Yukawa using authentic Tamahagane processed by traditional methods. And his signature. We'll put this off to the side. We have a little pamphlet here about the swordsmith, which we'll learn a little bit later, but just to show you what comes in the box. Look at that. Those are absolutely beautiful. Great image, again, not necessary, but just part of that branding experience. Same thing here. Sorry, let me just swap that over so you can see it. Gorgeous pictures. Even the pamphlet feels high quality. Something I always acknowledge and appreciate, again, is just that consistency in branding. Same stamp, same signature. And of course, the man himself at work. Truly stunning. We'll put that off to the side. Probably one of my favorite pieces is what's right here. This is a sketch, looks like a charcoal sketch of what the knife is going to look like. So of course, the serial number stamped into the tang. And then just showing you, it's a little bit of a teaser. This is what you can expect. Of course, the tang is going to be hidden within the handle itself, but just a little bit of a teaser. Absolutely gorgeous. We'll fold this and be very careful not to damage it. I believe this is either the third or fourth time this box has even been opened, and so we're making sure to really treat it with respect. Another small touch I noticed when I opened it to make sure that everything was fine when it came to shipping was look at this nice little foam pad for the tip, right? The tip is probably going to be the most delicate piece of a knife, and so I kind of like that they have glued, I'm assuming it's glued, to a waxy paper, this foam tip that is bent in U fashion right over the tip of the blade, so that in transport and even just when storing in the carry box, we're sure that the tip will be left intact. Now this piece of protective blade cover, unlike most, actually uses ends that are glued, and so I'm kind of just going to skip to me opening it because it is a little bit difficult for me to open without wanting to damage it. Now the first thing I noticed before even taking a look at the blade is how heavy this knife is. For a 240mm Gyuto, it is quite heavy, and you will quickly see why. It has to do with the thickness of the spine. So we'll actually start with the spine shot. Then let's show the blade. Gorgeous, raw Tamahagane, nice cladding. In terms of the shape, if someone hadn't told me that this was a Gyuto, it does give me Sentoku vibes because of the way that tip, that drop point happens, but it is in fact a Gyuto. See if we can take a look at some of that cladding. I just love the raw, pure finish. The handle is quite beefy, but it matches very well the knife in question. It is raw, octagonal, super comfortable to hold. And so that's essentially it. This is what you can expect when opening a Yasha Yukawa product in terms of the carry box, the serial numbering, the branding, the advertising, the carbon style stencil, the business card. This is what it's like to open a knife of this caliber. I hope you've enjoyed this experience as much as I have. Now we're going to swap to a different camera angle, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about master licensed Japanese swordsmith Yasha Yukawa. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed that experience as much as I did. Again, as I said, it's only the third or fourth time that this box has ever been opened, and so it's such an honor for me to do it. I should have almost worn gloves. That's how it felt. I wanted to open it in a way that showed respect to the maker and to the brand. And so here's the knife right now, the knife block. Of course, I'm trying to create a bit of a zen environment, so I got my Lego bonsai that decided to blossom just in time for Sakura. Isn't that wonderful? So what we're going to do now is, I'm sure you have questions. Who is Yasha Yukawa? How did this come to be? How was a licensed Japanese swordsmith making kitchen knives? All great questions. What you're going to see next is I'm going to be grabbing excerpts directly from his website. As you can see right here up on screen, his website is absolutely gorgeous. Even it feels premium. And so I can't reinvent the wheel, and I can't say things better than he says himself. So I will be kind of narrating some of the passages on his website. I'll be showing you some beautiful footage of the knife, which you've just saw, and it's going to be awesome. So we're going to learn now a bit more about the knife smith and the brand, and then I will read you a passage about Tamahagane steel, because this is a steel type that there's often a lot of misconception in terms of what is it, where does it come from, can it come from more than one area, or does Tamahagane really come from one area? Spoiler alert. So let's learn more about the knife smith. Here we go. What you should know about this knife before we talk about the swordsmith is that this is a 240mm Gyuto made of Nittoho Tatara Tamahagane in warikomi fashion, and when I said it's a thick boy, it's a thick boy. It is 3.7mm at the heel. Now let's go learn about Yasha Yukawa. Taken directly from his website. Passion for swords was perhaps inherited from my father, a martial artist, sword collector and connoisseur. Now Yasha Yukawa is the son of two Swedish parents. During my childhood, he held annual Sword of Praise gatherings as well as published a book on the subject. Through him, I met Mukanza swordsmith, Matsuba Kunimasa, under whom I apprenticed to become a Japanese swordsmith. To To become a licensed Japanese swordsmith, you must be accepted by and serve full-time as an apprentice under a licensed master for a minimum of 5 years. After the completed training, you must pass an 8 days hardcore national examination organized by the government institution, the Ministry of Cultural Affairs, whereupon you must produce a wakizashi according to traditional methods, which is a Japanese katana essentially. After the perseverance of apprenticeship starts the real struggle, to survive as a professional swordsmith. I live at my workshop and work 7 days a week. So what makes it worthwhile to meticulously create an object considered by some to be of no use in modern society? And the question seems to prevail, what is a Japanese sword even? A weapon? A piece of art? Or a spiritual symbol? After the World War, to preserve the legal right to resume the banned craft of the Japanese sword, there was a necessity to emphasize the artistic dimension, but truly, the sword is an amalgam of it all. According to my observation, one important role of the sword was, and still is, to serve as a source of inspiration and a symbol of self-mastery. For the rulers of the past, the warrior class, virtues like courage, nobility, and righteousness were surely highly regarded, as well as the power of self-control attained through awareness of one's darker shadows. All desired qualities for a possessor of weapons, with the right to judge over life and death of a commoner, opponent, or foe. A properly made sword is designed as a natural extension of your body, and to maneuver such power tool provokes a sense of possessing a superpower. It may stimulate a benevolent or destructive temperament. Through practicing the art of drawing and swinging a sword, you develop discipline of your mind. A discipline that ultimately may function to uncover the stillness behind the illusion of the mind. In this way, the sword is a weapon not against an external enemy, but may aid in the ability to acknowledge one's shadows as a weapon against your inner demons. To me, using the sword as a tool for self-inquiry, letting oneself be influenced by its mysterious beauty, observing how by studying the intricacies of its refined essence and complex nature, it may fine-tune and cultivate perception. How does this beauty occur in this contradictory tool? Designed to withstand the impact of cutting through bone, but painstakingly sculpted to convey elegance. With a polished surface so fine that even a speck of dust may ruin its silky finish, this hyper-masculine form should stay in its feminine, protective shell. This envelops the lethal weapon with an air of delicate nature and may cause the warrior to pause before unsheathing his deadly sword. It reminds you of the necessity of refining your primitive powers, but also that even the most refined qualities ought to retain its raw, perhaps dangerous shadow. To possess power requires mastery of your darker nature, true for warriors or rulers of any kind. This makes the sword a suitable symbol of self-mastery and the transcendence of ego. This dimension of the sword enthralled me and spurred me to pursue perhaps perpetual research with an aspiration to create a sword that possesses the power to inspire, to bring forth your most noble qualities, and could serve as a talisman that by virtue of its mysterious beauty may bring you in touch with and protect the unconditioned, pure state beyond your mind. Now that was a passage written by Yasha Yukawa, and his swordsmith name is actually Kagami Yashamaro. I think that's an absolutely beautiful passage, which is why I wanted to narrate it exactly as it was found on the website. Now I'm sure you're probably interested in wanting to know more about the swordsmith and the brand, and I don't want this to just be a video of self-narration, so instead what I'm going to do is there's at least one great article which is free and that I can link to, and that will also be in the video description below. Everyone, I hope you've enjoyed this journey about finding out about a premium knife made by a Swedish-born, then Japanese licensed swordsmith making kitchen knives out of Tamahagane. A reminder that this exact knife, number 2 of the series, kitchen knife made by a swordsmith, this knife right here, right in front of me, is for sale. And so if you are interested, again, the link to HiFan's social profile will be in the video description below. Feel free to subscribe and like this video, share it so that more people can learn about Yasha Yukawa. And until then, it won't be seeing you next time, but I will. See you guys later.